Do you like animals, forests, and oceans? Do you want to protect planet Earth? What can you do every day to make the world a better place? Join Ryan and Ingrid's talk show for the Sustainability Podcast, and you can learn more about what is being done around the world and what you can do at home to make the world greener.
你喜欢动物吗？你喜欢自然、海或森林吗？你想保护地球吗？我们该做什么才能让世界变得更好？请收听 Ryan 和 Ingrid 的节目《永续发展单元》，了解更多世界上已经发生的事，以及在家可以做的事，让地球更绿一点。
Hello everyone, I'm Ryan. Welcome to Ryan and Ingrid's talk show on sustainability.
大家好，我是 Ingrid， 欢迎收听今天的节目。今天我们会介绍永续发展的第一项，终结贫穷；第二项，终结饥饿；第六项，取得干净的水和卫生；第16项，对抗气候变迁。请大家仔细听哦。
My name is Nadia. I am 11 years old. Before, I was happy. I played with my little sister outside of our house. I helped my mom around the house. My dad came home from work on our farm and was happy to see us. I went to school and was a very good student. Now, I am sad. Life is very different. 4 years ago, when I was 7, my dad was not happy. He didn't want to play with us. He was always worried because the plants on our farm were dying. He said that there was not enough rain. I was worried too, because I know that we get money from selling our plants. What could we do without money? How could we buy food and toys? Because there was no rain, we had to save water. My parents said that my brother, sister, and I could only take a bath once a week. Sometimes we didn't have water to wash our clothes, and we had to wear out old clothes for many days. It started to smell bad after a few days in summer, and I felt embarrassed in front of my friends. We had to go to town to buy water to drink. It was so far from home, and I didn't like to go, but I had to help. It was boring to sit in the car for an hour each way, but I would play games with my brother and sister. We would look out the window and talk about what we could see. We could see the plants were dying and starting to die on all the farms. Some of the houses were empty. No one lived there. Many of our neighbors moved far away. My best friend had moved to the city so her dad could look for a job. My dad was always talking about how water was too expensive. He said water is more expensive than gas for our car. Before, we could eat delicious food from our farm, but the food was not good anymore. The plants were too small and dry. I often saw that our fridge was empty. I sometimes asked Mom if she could make my favorite dinner, but she would say I had to wait for another day. I had to eat a lot of bread because we didn't have enough meat and vegetables. Many of my friends didn't have much food either, but some classmates still had things like chicken for lunch. It wasn't fair that they had that, and I had to eat bread all the time. I would look at them and imagine that I was eating chicken too. It was hard to study when I felt hungry all the time.
Wow, what a sad story. It is not easy to imagine growing up like that. Is this stuff really happening in the world today? Do some people not have enough water?
Yes, there are many places in the world where water is a big problem. In Taiwan, if there is not enough rain, we have to save water. But there is always enough water to wash and drink. In some countries, it is too dry, and they can only use a little water every day. Some people have to get their water from a well in the ground and have to walk for hours to get it and carry it back.
If I had to do that, I would be careful not waste even one drop of water. We often learn at school to wash our hands before having a meal, as well as after using the toilet, so that we don't get sick. How could I do that if I were her?
Well, we use water for so many things in a day, and we often don't think about it. I think it would be very difficult to live with only a small bucket of water every day.
In the story, we also talk about farming. How does rain affect farmers?
If there isn't much rain in Taiwan, maybe they will stop farming for a few months. In places like parts of India and Syria, it has been difficult to grow food for many years.
Why did it change? Was it always like this? Or is it drier now than before?
Before, it always rained at the same time every year, so farmers knew when to plant their seeds. Now, because of climate change, it doesn't rain in the right season, or it doesn't rain at all for a long time. This can make it hard to grow the food that farmers sell to make money. If they can't grow food, they can lose money and be in poverty. This can make farmers' lives very difficult and make it hard for people to get good food to eat.
In Taiwan, we can get food from faraway places. For example, kiwis are not grown in Taiwan, but you can see them in the supermarket. If there is not enough rain here, we can eat food from other places. Why don't they buy food that comes from other countries?
In the places we are talking about, they are not like Taiwan. They don't have access to products from other countries, or they don't have enough money to buy food from faraway places. So, they have to get food from the local market where food is not so expensive. If the farmers can't grow food and sell it in the market, it is difficult for other people to find food to eat. They have to eat less food and have less choices for food. Maybe they can't eat meat or vegetables.
I don't like to eat vegetables. I wish I don't have to eat them at all. I like bread much better. I can eat it every day.
Well, I know bread is delicious. However, it's important to get a balanced diet. That means eating many different kinds of good food. When people don't get all the vitamins they need from food, it is very bad. For example, in World War II, many soldiers didn't get enough vitamin A, and they couldn't see at night. This is why we have vitamin pills now, to get enough nutrition.
I would rather swallow 2 pills each day than eat vegetables for 3 meals.
Well, those pills are too expensive for local people and not easy to find in some places. If you are too poor to buy food from other countries, you are probably too poor to get vitamin pills. So, if they don't get vitamins from food, they can be unhealthy and get sick.
How can we help? Can the rich send the poor people money and food?
This can help for a little bit, but I don't think this answer is sustainable. Have you heard people say, "Give a man a fish, and he will not be hungry for a day"? "Teach a man to fish, and he will never be hungry again"? I think a better way is to help these families get their jobs back so they can help themselves instead of always waiting for other people to give them money.
I agree. But how to do that?
Great question. For everybody listening, you can think about it and try to imagine ways that you can help. Ingrid and I will talk more about that next time. Today, we have talked about some problems that are happening now. Climate change means weather change, like when and how much it rains. It maybe doesn't sound so important, but this can hurt a lot of people. We all need good food to live a happy, healthy life. We need farmers to help us. When the climate changes, it can be hard for farmers to grow our food. Without good food, we can be unhealthy and sick. Less rain also means we might not have so much water to sustain our lives in other ways, like drinking and washing. In many places, people have to leave their homes because they can't make money or get the things they need to live, like food and water. Many countries decided on the Sustainable Development Goals to help people all over the world have better lives.
我们今天提到几个世界上正在发生的事。气候变迁正在影响我们的生活，它能改变原本的气候形态，如雨量，还有下雨的季节。这件事听起来好像不是很严重。国家的人民都需要足够的食物生活，农民是国家粮食安全的基础。如果他们无法种植作物以维持生计，我们也将在不久后被影响。雨量减少不只影响农民，也影响我们的生活。我们需要喝水、洗东西和维持卫生。如果没有足够的粮食和水，人们只好被迫迁徙。世界各国决议要帮助人类生活更好，就必须永续发展。
In Sustainable Development Goal number 1, it is to end poverty in all its forms everywhere.
所以永续发展目标的第一项即是终结一切形式的贫穷。
The UN has said that poverty is making less than $1.25, or about 40 NT per day. Could you imagine living on 40 NT a day in Taiwan, where a bowl of rice is 10 NT, and to take the bus to school costs 15 NT, and a bottle of water is 18 NT? How would you spend your money?
在联合国定义的贫穷是每人每天赚少于 1.2 元美金， 相当于40元台币。想一想，在台湾的我们，一碗白饭是10元，一趟公车是15元，一罐瓶装水是18元。如果你只有40元，你会如何使用它呢？
We can help some people by giving or lending them money to help improve their business. Some people don't have good jobs, so they have to find work in dangerous factories where they only make a little money, not even enough to support their family. We can help by buying fair trade products so that people get paid a fair amount of money for the work they do.
我们可以捐钱给公益团体，或募款的方式帮助需要的人集资。一般不需要太多，就能帮助他们做点小生意，足以维持生计。有些人他们工作的地方环境不好，酬劳也很刻薄，他们几乎赚不到足够的钱养家。我们能透过购买有公平贸易标示的商品，让这些劳工能够拥有有品质的生活。
Poverty isn't only about making money though. It means not being able to get the things you need to live every day. There are many reasons why people can't get food or water, and not all of them are about money. The next SDGs we talk about will show you some other examples of poverty.
时常，贫穷不只是金钱层面上，有时候是物资缺乏的贫穷。例如，无法取得足够的食物和水，经常不是因为没有钱。下次我们会介绍更多其他贫穷的形式和例子。
Sustainable Development Goal 2 is to end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture.
永续发展目标的第2项是终结饥饿，维持粮食安全，增进营养和鼓励永续农业。
Hunger means a person consumes less than 1,800 calories a day. In 2013, there were 800 million people who lived in hunger, which means in every 10 people, there was one suffering from hunger. The problem can be because there is not enough food, or because people don't have money for food. It is also because some people can't get food because of things like wars or droughts. Some groups, like the UN, work closely in those places to try and give them not only food, but ways to get food, like teaching them to grow new kinds of plants that don't need so much water.
联合国饥饿的定义是每天摄取低于1800卡的热量。在2013年，超过8亿人口处于饥饿状态，这表示每10个人就有1个是处于饥饿的。造成饥饿的理由有很多，不只是食物不够吃或没有钱买，有时候是因为干旱或者战争造成的。联合国的工作人员会进入这些地区，帮助人们种植适应干旱的气候或容易生长的食物，以帮助他们度过艰难时刻。
Sustainable Development Goal 6 is clean water and sanitation.
永续发展目标的第6项是能取得干净的水和卫生。
Water is so important for life. Without it, nothing can live. We use water every day to drink and to wash. In many countries, it is not easy to get water. Climate change can make this problem worse. If people drink dirty water, it can make them sick. If they can't wash, they can also get sick. Almost 780 million people don't have access to good water. Almost 2,000 children under 5 years old die every day because they don't have good water. One way to help people is to help them build water pumps to get more clean water.
水对于生命是十分重要的。如果没有水，我们无法生存。但在有些国家，水是很难取得的。在气候变迁的影响下，又让这个问题更加严重。没有水或使用脏的水，均会使我们生病，甚至死亡。世界上有将近7.8亿的人无法取得干净的水，而每天有大约2000名5岁以下的儿童因为水的疾病而死亡。帮助人们取得干净的水是很迫切的，藻井能解决这个问题。
Sustainable Development Goal 13 is to take urgent action to combat climate change and impact.
永续发展目标的第13项是对抗气候变迁以及它的影响。
Climate change is a big problem all around the world. There will be different problems in different places. In some places, water will go up and make small islands disappear. In some places, like in our story, the problem is the opposite, not enough water. In both examples, people can be forced to leave their homes. We can fight climate change by not using so much fossil fuel.
全世界都在受气候变迁之苦，每个国家的状况不尽相同。有些地方水正在淹没他们的国家，有些地方就像故事讲的，很久没有下雨了。这些都会改变居民长久以来的生活方式，甚至被迫迁徙。想要对抗气候变迁，我们可以从现在开始停止使用化石燃料。
I hope this made you think about not only the problem, but also ways you can help. Can you think of other ways to make a difference? You can learn more about these problems and how you can help by listening to our show. Remember, if you have any questions or ideas, you can email us at info.eqpf@msa.highnet.net.
希望这个节目让你了解更多永续发展的概念。你知道你有很多方式可以帮助这个世界，也可以做出改变，只要你多想一想。我们还有更多的节目内容，欢迎您收听。如果你有任何问题或建议，欢迎写信给我们。
info.eqpf@msa.highnet.net.
下次见喽，拜拜。
Thanks for listening.